Hi, this is Jamal and welcome to the first lecture of the tutorial Adobe Illustrator. This is a lecture for the beginner so they can learn and know what is Illustrator and why it is used and where it is used and who uses this platform. First of all, Adobe Illustrator is a graphic designing tool. We can use this tool for designing many products like logo, icons, and many things. First of all, I will let you know that this is a tool used by designers, not by the artist. A designer is one, the picture illustrates everything. The designer is one that puts everything in its own place, make sure it is perfect and very good looking. On the other hand, the artist is the kind of person who uses his own art, hand drawings, and inspire people by his creativity. The designers make it sure that the design is perfect and it impresses the person who is watching the design. After this, I'm gonna tell you that what does the Adobe Illustrator create? It creates the vector-based graphics. It doesn't deal with the pixel-based graphics. On the other hand, when we say that we design graphics on Photoshop, the Photoshop designing is like pixel based, that one pixel is a part of the screen, a square part that thousands and millions of pixels together to make one whole screen. And the paint or anything like that use that one pixel by pixel for creating an image. You can see it over on the right hand side. On the other hand, this is a vector. What a vector is, it is created by points. It's not gonna look like pixelized. It's not gonna lose its shape. You can zoom it. On the other hand, this thing looks very clear now, but when we zoom it, it goes like the thing we see under it. So a vector is something like you can never lose the quality or the shape. After this, I'm going to tell you that we can have multiple artboards. What is an artboard? The artboard is a thing that on which we draw the designs. On other platforms like Photoshop or CorelDRAW, maybe I don't know about CorelDRAW, but Photoshop, we cannot use multiple artboards. Like we can use one artboard for the page 1, second artboard for the page 2, or if you are making a children book, the illustration book or like a story book for the children's, you can use one screen and you can use multiple artboards for multiple pages. So this is very useful thing that we need, but somehow most of the programs don't use this one. After this, I'm gonna tell you that you can zoom 900%. The graphic design, you can zoom it up to 900% without losing quality. If you zoom something, it's gonna stay the same quality, it's gonna maintain its shape, it's not gonna pixelize. You can see this very clear and crisp line going. I'm gonna zoom it to very high level, still it's maintaining the shape. This is why Adobe Illustrator is mostly used. After this, again the same thing, but in a different perspective. It's not gonna make any round shapes to the corners or corners to the round. The corner will remain corners and very sharp corners. On the other hand, the circle thing, it's not gonna have any corner on it. But if you design something on other platforms, it's very distracting thing that you lose the quality and the shape. After this, you can have multiple layers. Multiple layers is kind of, the Illustrator deals in the layer format. Like it is too many layers for each separate thing. If you type, you're gonna have separate layer. If you have some designs, you're gonna have some separate layers, and it helps a lot and maintaining the whole thing and going back and forth. It's a very great tool in Adobe Illustrator. The next thing is, it is relatively fast tool to use from the other platforms. You can just make shapes and use them to make more shapes and figures, and it is very fast and relatively small in size to the other platforms. Very small to use and very handy to use. The next thing is, you can go backwards. If you can undo your process to multiple steps. It saves almost 50 steps that you can go back and make changes, or if you you messed up something, you can go back. The next thing is no compromise on quality. The first and the last thing on Adobe Illustrator is no compromise on quality. You will get the best quality, the best shape, and the best output results. Vector files output. The vector files output are needed for the printing process. Every printer needs some files that are vector, so they don't lose quality or they don't go off the design. So this is the software that can make most of the vector files, like PDF. For internal purpose, you can use PDF on every computer without any extra software. EPS, AI, and SVG. SVG you can use without software. The Internet Explorer can run this SVG file. The Internet Explorer can run PDF file. The AI and EPS, you need special softwares or special machines to read these files. And this is why this is one of its own kind and very good quality, very small in size. The AI and the SVG are very small in size relatively to the PDF and EPS. They are bigger in size. The next thing is, we use mathematical techniques in Adobe Illustrator. The picture will let you know that these are simple basic shapes, and we can join these shapes to create a whole image. And this is why it doesn't lose its quality, and it's very handy and very creative way of doing anything. This is for the thing that how we use Illustrator and what is Illustrator. The next thing is, sorry for the sound background. The next thing is what we can do with Illustrator and what we cannot do with Illustrator. We cannot edit pictures like this one, the plane, the jet, the man with a sword and the clouds and lights. We cannot do this kind of thing in Illustrator. So forget this thing. If you're up to Illustrator for this thing, don't do illustrations, don't do Adobe Illustrator tutorials or anything like this. You can go to Photoshop and use those things for these kind of results. Why we use Illustrator? We use Illustrator for logos, the logo for companies or enterprises and everything. Every company has its own logo, and the logo is made in Adobe Illustrator for better quality and perfection. For monograms and stamps, we use Adobe Illustrator. The next thing is sign, icons, and buttons. The buttons in the web page or windows or anything. The signboards or the sign-only boards. The icons in your laptop, in your computer, in your mobile. Everything is made in Adobe Illustrator. Illustrations and line art drawing. As the name describes, Illustrator used for illustrations. Illustrations is this kind of thing where you describe a story with the help of images or drawings. Then this is line drawing. This is line drawing. Tattoos are made in Adobe Illustrator, and it's very speedy process of making these kind of things. Infographic and charts. We can make infographics like this for our presentations, and charts like this in Adobe Illustrator very easily and very rapidly. Next thing is business cards. We can make business card, postcard, or banners, brochures in Adobe Illustrator, and it's a very good way to make a business card and brochures kind of things and flyers in Adobe Illustrator. Stationery and print campaign. Business card, envelopes, your letterhead and your stamp, these all are made in Adobe Illustrator, and it's very easy to make because this is why we use Adobe Illustrator, because it's easy making these kind of print ready campaigns. The next thing is gradients, 3D elements, and many more things. This is 3D element made from N and Y, so we can just make 3D element very nicely and very good 3D element. On the other hand, there is another 3D element with some gradient feel that make it realistic, like lights and shadowing and some block and something placed on the block. We can do this in Adobe Illustrator. The other thing that we can do in Adobe Illustrator is making patterns. This is a simple graphic, and we can just use this thing for making patterns. Like I'm gonna make a little pattern. This was not planned, but I'm gonna make a little pattern. See, it's seamless, like nothing has stopped. We can make this thing in Adobe Illustrator. After this, the last thing I'm going to tell you is about motion graphics and animation. Adobe Illustrator is used for simple drawing made with the basic shapes, and we can then animate these shapes to make a little story. And we can just imagine that how can we make stories like this, and we can animate this in Adobe Illustrator. I'm gonna tell you in the next few videos that how we can make logos and icons and everything, and how we're gonna use this for our graphic design career. Thank you very much. I hope this has been informative for you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.